దొరకొడుకు బ్రోచురా ఎంతో దుడుకు గల నన్నే 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 దొరకొడుకు.
Hello, welcome all. We'll be starting this session in another 1 to 2 minutes. So, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ mic na mute ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. And if any request is there, please put it on chat. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ interrupt ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. Srikanth sir ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So Srikanth sir, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thanks. Namaskara.
Namaskara. You can start in another minute.
Okay. I saw my brother, so I just thought he would give an intro or something.
ಹಾ ಹೌದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.
Bright ಆಗಿ 1 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಂದು ಹೊರಟೋದ್ರು, so I'm just looking for him. Share my screen.
Sharma sir, if you are audible, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ.
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ?
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿವನ್. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಸಿಂಧೂರದ ಈ ಪಂಚರತ್ನ ಕೀರ್ತನೆ ಕುರಿತಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ webinar is going to begin now. It will be starting immediately after my introduction. So, welcoming you all. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಂಜೆ ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ಗೆ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೋರ್ತಾ, ಎಲ್ರೂ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು 45 ನಿಮಿಷ 50 ನಿಮಿಷ ತನಕ ನಡೆಯುವಂತಹ ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕ್ರಿಯವಾಗಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೋರ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಸಿಂಧೂರದ ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ which has come as a boon to us to organize these meaningful sessions, and request Vidwan Srikanth Sharma to begin the session, to begin his a series introductory talk, and take up the session on the second Kirtane in the Pancharatna of Sri Saint Tyagaraja, Dudukoogala. In ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳಿ ಅವರು ಮುಂದೆನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಯು all of you for having joined us. Srikanth, you may kindly take it up further. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಸಾರಿ ಶ್ರೀಕಾಂತ್ ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಲೈವ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರೋ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾಟ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ there so that it will be answered at the last session from 6 to 6:15. Even small information kodabekagitu. That's it. Thank you. Srikanth sir, you can continue. Srikanth sir, you are muted.
Right. Okay. My apologies. Namaste to Vidwan Ravi Shankar Sharma, a Pradhyapaka of Shruti Sindhura, and all the technical team headed by Chandramouli Jamadagni, and all the well-wishers of Sangeeta and students of Shruti Sindhura. I will shortly start sharing my screen like last time, if that is all right. So anyone's got a problem, a question, a doubt, if you want to interrupt me, I think the model that I've been told is to save it for the end. As they say, keep the good things, the icing is for the end. All the good things come in the end. So all the questions go to the end. We'll fall in line with this little request from the organizers. And thanks for having me for the second session. Usually, it ends with one session, isn't it? Because these are boring sessions. When you're talking about music, it's no more interesting. So my fingers were crossed when I was ending my first session. So thanks for having me for the second session. We'll do a quick recap of what we discussed last time. Am I audible? Is the pace all right, Chandramouli?
Absolutely right.
Fine. So we will do a recap of what happened. Let me try and share my screen like last time. Now, we are talking about the Ghana Pancharatna Krutis. Firstly, why Ghana Pancharatna Krutis is, as we discussed last time, there are so many Pancharatna Krutis. Pancharatna simply means 5 gems. So you have Ghana Pancharatna to differentiate this from the rest. This is all composed in Ghana ragas. Sri Tyagaraja Pancharatna Krutis, they're all composed in Ghana ragas. So this is also called Ghana Pancharatna Krutis or Tyagaraja Pancharatna Krutis, Sri Tyagaraja Pancharatna Krutis. And we have realized the fact that this person was Sri Tyagaraja, this saintly composer, saintly Vagyakara, the greatest bhakta of Rama, who has had darshana of Lord Rama, just using the bhakti channel, bhakti mode. Was no ordinary singer, was no ordinary composer. He was no Vagyakara looking for name and fame and setting up organizations and getting titles. He was just looking for one friendship, that one friendship that will make his life or break. So his friendship, I mean, he was aiming for the best. He was looking for Rama's companionship. So his composition was just to please Sri Rama, Lord Sri Rama. Sri Rama was his deity. He composed for nobody. We also discussed the fact that when the reigning king sends for Sri Tyagaraja, he will be summoned almost to the to the court to sing in praise of the king. And Tyagaraja very humbly but flatly refuses it. And he gets so many offers. He gets golden ornaments, truckloads. I mean, typically a cart of gold, as I have seen in one of the movies. He says no thanks. While some of his well-wishers in double coat, they will be really cursing Tyagaraja at that point in time. In fact, the setting of this Kruti is very interesting. It is around the 18th century, the beginning of the 19th century, the later part of 18th century, because we've agreed that Tyagaraja's timeline was 1767 to 1847. Now, as we have mentioned, we have got shortage of musicologists who research. We've got people who go on to Google, go on to Wikipedia, and then spin off interesting sentences and put their language onto that. But what we don't have is music researchers. So we will, for now, accept that 67 to 1847 was his timeline, though some of the books later on disagree in 1 or 2 years. Yeah. So this is my punchline. This is my connection to music. A dedicated and informed musician, stroke enthusiast, is an asset to the nation's progress, cultural empowerment, and to propagate itihasa, or satya-based itihasa, not propaganda, right? So propagate itihasa, not propagate propaganda. So who should do the research? Who should tell the story? I should tell my story. I must talk about myself. It's me, it's my story. So itihasa from a person who lives here, who feels here, and who feels for all the life, all of our ancestors who have lived here and who believe our ancestors. So in the course of today's next 50 minutes, I will also talk about some of the musical treatises that our great stalwarts have written. Just a couple. Otherwise, it will be a major digression. So, so it is also important that we approach music and any of these cultural assets with sadbhakti, pure devotion. And what are we trying to learn here? We are not doing a Pancharatna, we are not doing two Pancharatna. We are not trying to master one so that in the next Aradhana, we are all sat in the front rows of the leading sabhas. We are trying to increase our jnana arjana. Via bhakti, via understanding of Tyagaraja's composition, about via understanding of the many composers, many brilliant compositions in many languages. All these compositions come in many rasas. The composer could be angry. He could be feeling very introspective. He could be feeling very humble. Like last time we tried to talk about this. Rama says, hey Rama, I really don't know how to worship you. I don't know bhakti. I don't know how to express bhakti. Just taking a shower, doing vibhuti, counting fingers, doing japa, all that is fine. I mean, I think I can do that. But that real bhakti, that essence of reaching you seems to be a problem for me, is what Sri Tyagaraja tells in that Dudukoogala Kruti. That Dudukoogala raga itself is outpouring, it's pouring out humility and bhakti. Bhakti margamunu teliyaledu rama bhakti margamunu. So like that. So the ultimate essence of this journey, the musical journey of a musician or a musical enthusiast or a music student or a teacher or a sabha owner or a sabha director, all that is really to understand pure devotion and to gain sattvic knowledge, pure knowledge. We also discussed about Tyagaraja and why we call that as Upanishad. I wouldn't spend too much on these things. So Samarasya, we Aradhana. So Aradhana has become the central point of Tyagaraja Pancharatna. In fact, it is in that setting that the 5 gems were compiled. Tyagaraja never said, hey, today I'm going to compose Pancharatna, 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5. No, he didn't find an auspicious moment and a great feel. He didn't put too much of technicalities into these 5 songs. In fact, only Tyagaraja's songs can compete with Tyagaraja's song. Saint Tyagaraja was a devout bhakta. For him, it was just, how do I today convince or confuse Sri Rama to bless me, to take me into his arms. So his idea, his objective was absolutely clear as crystal. So he was about pleasing one person, but that one person, we agreed, was the best person that you can go after, Sri Rama, Lord Sri Rama. Purushottama, Maryada Purushottama, reading Ramayana for the second time, my eyes get wet many times. So this person, though he was an incarnate of Lord Vishnu, he tries to always contain himself as though he was a human being. He tries to do his conduct, daily conduct, as a human being. I'm talking about Lord Sri Rama, the man who walked this earth many millennia earlier. We don't date it because we don't have this culture of dating great personalities. This is a geography. This is a notional geography. Bharata is a notional geography. Bharata itself is Bhava, Raga, Tala is a notional geography where anyone who subscribes to the elements of this Bhava, this Raga, this Tala is a part of this Dharma. And I have problem with accepting religion as an English translation of Dharma. So this Dharma accepts anyone who appreciates this Bhava, this Raga, this Tala. So Rama was one exemplary person who mastered the art of being a human while being divine, while being aware fully, while conscious that he was not just a mortal like us. So he's an embodiment of many attributes that we would like to be. So Tyagaraja goes after that deity, such deity. So all the 5 Pancharatnas we discussed, they are composed in Ghanaragas. Ghanaragas are ragas that have feel, that are heavyweight. So it has a feel. Each note has a feel. And when I say Ghanaragas are this way, I don't mean to say that a raga like Shivaranjani does not have a feel. I don't mean to say a raga like Mohana or another Ranjani raga is not having a feel. But this Ghanaraga has got a body. You've got to appreciate. For example, we talk about Dudukoogala. And one thing that attracts me here from a musical perspective is Gaula Rishabha. Right? So I'll just sing the Arohana for this. So, re, ma, pa, ni, za, sa, ni, pa, ma, re, ga, ma, re, sa, re, ma, pa, ni, sa, re, so Re seems to be that Jivaswara. Re seems to be that sort of an anchor point. You feel like standing there. That's called a Jivaswara. You feel like being there. So like how in a house you have a living room as an attraction, or in some houses, another room. Right? A reception could be an attraction. So Jivaswaras actually play the anchor of the raga. It highlights. You can dwell there. You can stay there. You can do the amsha and nyasa there. You can start from that note. You can end from that note. So here Re seems to be that piece of that note which is very attractive. And why I would dwell on Re so much is, to me, when I'm singing this Re with my Shruti box on, it gets me into an introspective mood all of a sudden. That Re really draws me in. That Re, that Gaula Rishabha, I would not call this as Re 1 or Re half. As you know, we have 6 type of Rishabhas. That's why we call the previous one, which was the Nata Rishabha, as the Shat Shruti, the 6th of the Rishabha. So So we have 6, but with the human sensitivity of falling by the minute, our sensitivity seems to be transferred elsewhere. So we've now agreed that we will do 2, 4, and 6, the second, the fourth, and the sixth. So we have agreed we will do Re1, Re2, Re3, Re being the Rishabha here. Now, this Gaula Rishabha does not conform to any of those things. It is a Rishabha that comes somewhere between this Re1, Re2 in the 6th raga, 6th Rishabha scheme of things. Now, that is more on the melody aspect. Now, Dudukoogala is in Raga Gaula, and this also takes birth in a parent raga called Maya Malava Gaula. A parent raga, like in a parent, will have all the 7 notes. I mean, in terms of the comprehensiveness, is why I say like in a parent, has all the 7 notes. Sari Gama Pada Nisa, Sani Da Pa Magarisa. Is Maya Malava Gaula, but this raga is a child raga. Gaula is a child of Maya Malava Gaula. It does not have a few notes that the parent raga has. For example, the. It's a pentatonic scale while going up. Sari ma pa ni, 5 notes. Sari ma pa ni. And while coming down, it is Sani pa ma re ga ma re sa, zigzag or vakra. So it is a Audava Vakra Raga, right? So it's a penta zigzag scale. And these are all terms that I use to communicate what's going on. Right. Now, Gaula is a very old raga. It's not one of those new ragas that we have imported or that's been created to please a king or another person or a prime minister or anything like that. So Gaula is a very old raga. It has references in our very old treatises I mentioned. I will speak about some. In fact, just a couple and a quick minute on those things. Sangeeta Ratnakara by Sarangadeva, written around 1247 Common Era, CE, stands for Common Era, makes a mention of this. Sangeeta Ratnakara, in fact, means ocean of music and dance. It has stood this test of time. What? It's about 750 or 770 odd years since it was written, and it stands the test of time today. It's one of the more often people most referred document. It's a living document, people say. Musicologists who are absolutely well respected by musicians, they have referred to Sarangadeva's treatise, Sangeeta Ratnakara. So I'm stressing on these names just so that you can make notes, a mental note, and you can make your own online research, desktop research. So, and the second document, a treatise that mentions this raga is Sangeeta Makaranda, written by Narada Muni. Now, Narada Muni does not have a date. So it is alleged that he was, some of the Western Indologists give a date of 1100 Common Era, which I would like to not agree. So Narada Muni is again one of our very undated old ancestors, very wise man, Triloka Sanchari. So his Sangeeta Makaranda makes a mention of many things. It's a document that we have to refer. Many of the chapters will give us an insight of how life was. So we will start moving this notion of Hindu mythology, our ancestors' mythology, into a itihasa, a satya-based itihasa. So let's go online. Sometimes at our convenience. We are anyway locked out of other businesses in many aspects of life, so we can invest those times out here. So Sangeeta Makaranda by Narada Muni also mentions Gaula Raga, and it's again a beautiful raga that Sri Tyagaraja has selected. We mentioned why it is an asymmetric raga. A symmetric raga is Mohana. Sarega pada sa sada pagari sada sariga pada sa sada pagari sa 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. It's symmetric in both Arohana and Avarohana. A raga has got 2 scales to define its feel, its mode, its emotions. So now this is Re Ma Pa Ni Sa Audava Penta 5. Sani pa ma re ga ma re sa ga ma re sa. there are many popular krutis in this raga. One thing that hits me is Pradabhabhyaham Shri Gauri Sutam. And as most of our concerts and our activities and our resolutions, sankalpas begin with a prayer to Ganesha. This song is on Ganesha, Pranamamyaham. And so Gaula mostly is an auspicious raga that is coming towards the initial part of the concert, sometimes even the first one. It is a tradition that we start a concert with Varna. Sometimes this tradition need not be followed based on the timeline, the setting, and other things. So this can be a starting kruti, the Gaula kruti that I sang just now. So we have highlighted the beauty of Gaula Rishabha. So it is not Rivan, Riha, Free 1.5. It is Gaula Rishabha. And this raga resonates the feel of introspection. It gets me into an internal focusing mode. Hey, what am I doing? What have I done? It is drawing me and the Shruti box and that Akara, that Panchama, that Rishabha, that Shadja into me. Maybe this is why Sri Tyagaraja has brought out this beautiful gem in Raga Gaula. Now, the word redemption is used with a specific purpose. Now, Tyagaraja lived around the time when missionary activities were rife. Big time missionary activities. For some of us who don't know what missionary activities are, it is about taking people out of our dharma and moving them on and giving them another way of life. So it can be, you can call it as conversion, you can call it as in many names. So I think the concept of Christianity is also all about, I am a sinner, Jesus, redeem me. I'm a sinner. So the very fundamental concept of Christianity starts from, I am a sinner. I am born because I have sinned. Quite the opposite of how Hinduism really treats a new birth. We rejoice, we have fun, we give out sweets, we celebrate the birth, but it's another concept. So there are no parallels, you see, in these things. This is why I call Hinduism a dharma, and I have certain reservations calling it religion, but yeah, when push comes to shove, I will have to call it, and we all have to call it as religion. So the redemptive nature of this kruti, this sahitya that we'll go through in the next 20 minutes, very, very word by word, if you like, is about, maybe it was an influence he's heard, because, he had access to kings, he had access to big people. A lot of well-traveled musicians visited Sri Tyagaraja. He was also the contemporary of the other two trinities that we named last time, Muthuswami Dikshitar and Sharma Shastrigal. So Sri Tyagaraja, though he is all about Sri Rama, it is a weaker introduction of Sri Tyagaraja if I told that Sri Tyagaraja was all about Bhakti, Sri Rama, and he was devoid of social goings on. No, I wouldn't say that. He must have been a man of good knowledge, good social interaction with people, because he was very respectful, he was very kind, he was humble. So he would have exchanged ideas. So this is my take. I did mention this to the head of the Department of Music in Bangalore University, this take of mine, and my drawing parallels between the redemptive nature of this Dudukoogala, Nanne Dora Kodoku Bro Chura. So Dora Kodoku is a prince. Okay. Now, you all don't have to agree with me. This is just a sharing of idea. Something is beyond today's scope, but I will still start seeding the audience with my thoughts out here. So we've done the quick introduction and a brief summarizing of what we did in session 1. So session 2's the deep dive area is the Sahitya of Dudukoogala. I have been asked to really take word by word and discuss Dudukoogala because it needs a treatment in that way. Right. So far, if I'm heard and if the slides are being seen okay, and if the pace is all right, Chandramouli, can you make some sound for me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now, Dudukoogala is in redemptive mode. It's very introspective. It's got one of the Ghanaragas, like all Pancharatna. Now, music is best sung. So I'll just start the first line in my I'll just sing the first line before going charana by charana, Pallavi Anupallavi charana. Dudukoogala nane dora koduku rochure ento dudukoogala nane dora koduku rochure ento Duduku, yento duduku. Duduku is haste. Duduku is issues with me. Duduku is a problem that I have. Duduku is haste, literally. Sometimes we have to take not the literal meaning, but the bhavartha. We'll address that in a while. But Duduku simply is haste. That me that is ridden with ignorance, right? That me that is all about self-centered ignorance, and that duduku can also be arrogance, right? That dudukoogala nan e dorakoduku brochura. Dorakoduku is a prince. So that duduku can have many bhavarthas when we go around the charanas in the following sessions, in the following this introduction now. So that duduku, that I am full of. It could be arrogance, it could be selfishness, it could be self-centered thinking, it could be many other evil things, right? When it comes to the personality, it could be that that negativity, all about me, that selfishness. And we will define, Sri Tyagaraja defines that duduku in many aspects. Thanks to Sri Devi Sharma, she has sent me a voice note about her take on each of these charanas. It was very, very impressive. I wish I had that beautiful Kannada. But I'll bring the essence, try to bring the essence of that in my next, in this session. So, Dudukoogala nanne dora kodaku brochura. Yento Dudukoogala. See the beauty here? I put the text, the Telugu text in red on the top left. Yento duduku. I mean, yes, duduku. In the starting, he says Dudukoogala nanne dora koduku brochura. I've got haste. I'm an ignorant man. What princely guy? Which prince? Which son of which big king can come and give me salvation? Can get me out of this? Is how he starts with. But if you look at the way musically and poetically Sri Tyagaraja has used this towards the end, yento duduku. I am not just an ordinary sinner. Hey, big time. I'm all about me, right? I'm too arrogant. Otherwise, you must have presented yourself in three-dimensional forms, Lord Rama. Dudukoogala nanne, right? Yento Dudukoogala. So that's how he qualifies it. So far the setting is, I am a sinner. Who is there to save this great sinner? Yento Duduku, great sinner. Right. So let's move on to the Anupallavi. We all know most of our Krutis, our compositions, have got what I call a SPAC, Pallavi, Anupallavi, and Charana, PAC. Now, Pallavi is really the crux. When the author wants to do a Nindastuti, hey God, you didn't give me anything. What sort of partial God are you? You give it to him. You give it to him, not me. Hey God, why on earth can you not see that greatness in my devotion? So it's not greatness in me, but in my devotion. What can you not see in this interrupted flow of stuti? Why on earth are you not coming? So these are our ninda stutis. So such very powerful expressions come in the Pallavi. They're all seated. The very body of the compositions, that essence is seated in the Pallavi part. So Pallavi, Anupallavi. So Pallavi, I perceive it as a head. Anupallavi, I perceive it as a neck. And Charana literally means feet, don't they? So Charana is the rest of it. So Charana is what carries on the composition. It carries the beauty of the Pallavi and Anupallavi, in its proper gravitas. So Pallavi is like the head. And don't quote me. This is my feel. And Anupallavi is like the neck, and the Charanas are like the feet. So the Pallavi and Anupallavi is paraded on the using the strength of the Charana, but what is being paraded, the Utsava Murti itself is like the Pallavi and Anupallavi. So on that note, so Dudukoogala. So Tyagaraja has almost nailed it here in the Pallavi, right? And Anupallavi is Kadudur Vishaya Gadiya Gadiyaru Nindaru. Some people say as Nindaru. I'll also say some of the Sahitya problems that I have encountered with. Akristadaiti. Right. We can do a word by word very quickly because this is all about that. So let's dedicate the next 1 or 2 minutes. So Kadu is too much, right? Kadu. Kadu Drohi. Kadu is, in fact, a lot of South Indian languages, Sanskrit, they all have common stuff. So I'm quite impressed that when I was trying to read the Sri Tyagaraja's Pancharatna, sometimes you feel you already have a feel for it because they're very poetic, they're very, very Sanskritized Telugu, and Kannada is not devoid. Other South Indian languages, other Indian languages are not devoid of Sanskrit. So that aspect of Samarasya helps me understand. So Kadu is very Dur, again, does not need introduction. Dur, Duryodhana, right? Anything that starts with Du, we have a feel for it. It is bad. Durvishaya, right? Bad deeds. Akristadaiti, I became attracted. Akristadaiti, Akristadai, right? And Gadiya means time and again, minute by minute, every time, all the time. Gadiya, Nindaru, right? It's not Nindaru, but it's in Nindaru, like how you have, like in dad, Nindaru. My sins are mounting every moment, minute after minute, it's growing by my enticement to the evil deeds. And what are the evil deeds? The Charanas will absolutely, they're specifying what are the evil deeds that Tyagaraja thinks that he is filled with. And let's just think where we are in the grand scheme of things. If Tyagaraja says, hey, I've got a lot of evil deeds. So the setting in Pallavi and Anupallavi is, I'm a hasty man, I'm a bad man, I'm an arrogant man, I don't know how to deal with you. I don't know how to deal with good subjects. And Yento Duduku, I've got a lot of haste. Yento Duduku, Gala Nan E Durakoduku Brochura, is a question mark to himself. So this is why I say it's an introspective. He's not doing Ninda Stuti. He's not saying, hey Rama, come and protect me. You protected all the other guys, all the other great devotees. So he's not in that mode. Today he's in this introspective mode. This Dudukoogala is about myself. It's a time. So is the lockdown really, isn't it? It's a time for us to introspect on what we've done before lockdown, what we are going through the lockdown, and how would we refine, how would we reform, what new sankalpas we can make, like how Sri Tyagaraja made. So this is a brilliant setting, this song. So Pallavi and Anupallavi is that. I may not sing all the charanas, but definitely I won't miss Anupallavi. Kadudur Vishaya Krishtudaiti. My stress was on Krishtudaiti. Wrong. Kadudur Vishaya Krishtudaiti. Dai or Daiti is the same. Kadudur Vishaya Krishtudaiti. Kadu Durvishya, very, very bad things I was attracted to. Akristadai, I was being attracted to very bad things. By the minute, I was never improving, I was degenerating. Gadiya, gadiya, kunindaru, Dudukoogala, Nanneyoga, Dudukoogala, Ayanto, Dudukoogala, Nanne, Dudukoogala. That that Gaula Rishabha, that is really attractive. Rishabha Gaula. So Kadudur Vishayakrustrudai Gadiya Gadiyaru Nindaru. By the minute it's filling, right? It's filled up. My time, my life, my days, my minutes are filled with bad deeds. So moving on to from Pallavi Anupallavi, the Charana, that aspect of the Kruti that carries the Pallavi and Anupallavi's feel, but all the Charanas do one beautiful thing. It gives more detail of why an author is going through, a composer or a Vagyakara, or in this case, the greatest devotee of Lord Rama, Sri Rama, Tyagaraja Swami, why he was feeling apologetic, why he was feeling that he must ask God for redemption, or and when you say in our dharma, when you say asking for God, asking God something, doing archana to God for something, the God is well within you. You're addressing to yourself. You're talking to yourself. This is why mauna stuti, the beauty of mauna, the beauty of pauses, even when you're singing, even when you're playing rhythm, those little pauses, they add so much of beauty. So it is that mauna, because you're talking to yourself, you're feeling what you've done. So when you're asking God, you're actually asking yourself, because the concept of what is there is here. I am that is very well what Sri Tyagaraja always had on the top of his head. Many of his kritis do bring out this. So it is most of Atmartham, Atma correction. So who am I trying to preach? Myself. Who am I trying to pray for? Myself, because Lord Rama is in me. So, and in doing so, in seeing that divinity in yourself, you treat the body right. You are socially doing the most right things. When a premier of a country tells you, asks you, requests you to stay safe, stay home, keep yourself to yourself, don't go out, don't infect yourself, don't infect others, don't be carrier. All we are doing is taking care of this Paramatma, this Deha, this Atma, this body. So with this, Tyagaraja Swami is really asking himself to correct himself, probably. So going to Charana. So again, we'll do a quick one-on-one word. Sri Vanita. Sri has got many meanings. I was literally forced to understand the meaning of Sri. While I lived in London and worked there for close to 2 decades, people were asking, in fact, they were calling me, Sri, can you come here? Sri, can you do that? I used to work in banks. So I somehow felt awkward about it, because Sri is feminine. So after a few months, I muzzled up and I gained some courage to tell, look, Sri is pretty feminine, so let's do Srikanth. In fact, you can, if you want, do just the Kanth, because Kanta is translates to husband. So I'm Sri Kanta, husband of a man, husband of a lady who's got a lot of wealth. Sri is a goddess of wealth, isn't she? So Sri Vanita is goddess Lakshmi. Now here, this Vanita also has another meaning. We'll come there in a quick second. Hrut is heart, right? Of heart. Kumuda Abja. Abja, Ja is where it takes birth from, isn't it? So Kumuda Abja, coming off a white water lily or lotus. Vak Manasa. Agochara. No, it is Gochara. And I will also try to sing this with Agochara, how sometimes you hear it. I don't know whether I hear it wrongly. Right? So the very aspect, the very summary of this first charana is, my sins are mounting every moment by my enticement to the evil deeds. So this is almost a bit of a build up on the previous one. So Kadudur Vishaya Shivanita Utkumudabjeva Manasa Gochara. Right? I was not aware. I was not aware. Right? My sins are mounting every moment by my enticement to the evil deeds. Okay, I still have the old thing here. Okay. 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 I will. I think my slides are a bit not all right. So let me just quickly tell you. Uh, the summary is very simple here. Um, the moon to the lotus heart of Lakshmi, Sri Lakshmi, you are beyond comprehension of my mind and speech. For my Gochara mind, you are beyond my comprehension. The Vak and Manasa, Sri Vanita, Hrit Kumudabja, Vak Manasa, Gochara. My consciousness, you are beyond my comprehension. I can't feel. Shri Vanita Kumudaja Vapanasa Ochara Dudukoogala. Right? So, Goddess of Lakshmi, uh, you are beyond. You transcend beyond both speech and mind, and I am unable to comprehend in my gochara. So just that bit of agochara, it is a wrong way of singing that I would like to demonstrate, and I am no authority on any right and wrong ways of singing. But when I was practicing, I get this feel, and my father, who was almost always about Sahitya, would actually intervene. My brother Ravi Shankar Sharma will agree. So he would never let us go ahead and practice in peace if we ever did a Sahitya Padagarbha mistake that Sri Vidwan, we had a Vainika Vidwan last in the first session. He was really making a good point about the Padagarbha. So that. So this is a don't. The version that I'm going to sing now is a don't version.
Sorry, Srikanth sir, just to interrupt you, we are just coming to 15 minutes to our time limit. So just a small update.
No problem. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, in a real session, you get coffee in the last 15 minutes, and someone is going to warn you. That's instead of telling you and warning you about the time, we'll just give you a cup of coffee or a cup of water. But in these digital sessions, I don't get any memento. I don't get coffee. No nothing. So this is fine. Yeah, I get the message. Shri Vanita Kumudabja Vatmanasa Agochara Dudu. That agochara, sometimes in the stress of in that flow of making a stress on the musical agochara Dudu. So gochara becomes agochara. And I'm sure there are many musicians here in the audience, and you will be able to think about many examples, right? So we'll move on to the next charana, the charana 2. Sakala bhutamulayundu nivayundaga madileka poyina. Like mati becomes madi sometimes, in a poetic expression. Sakala bhutamulayundu nivayundaga madileka poyina. See, this is where I'm telling this Advaita concept is overflowing, is outpouring. It's sometimes hidden, very latent. Sometimes it's in stealth mode, and sometimes it's quite open. Because here he's really trying to correct himself. He stood in front of a mirror Sri Tyagaraja stood in front of a mirror. He says, I'm a sinner. I mean, observe the word sin and that concept of redemption. I am a born sinner that we were talking about. We are trying to draw parallels across two religions, right? Or a dharma and religion, a dharmic religion and a bookish religion. So here, that term sin really gets my attention all the time. I am a sinner who has lost the sense to understand your omnipresence attribute in all the living thing. You're omnipresent, isn't it? In everything. Sakala bhutamula. Sakala bhuta. You are in Panchabhuta, you are in non-Panchabhuta, you are everywhere. Sakala bhutamula yandu nivai. Yundaga. Alright? I am not, I have forgot, I am unable to comprehend. Madileka poina. Right? So again, a quick word by word translation here. Sakala is all. Bhutamula is elements of nature. Right? Definitely, Sri Tyagaraja is not only poetic, he's not only the greatest bhakta, he was also a great composer who knew how to deal with words. Right? So when he says Dora Kodaku, who is he obviously referring to in the Pallavi? Dora Kodaku, the great son of the great king Dasharatha. The great son, because Rama was almost like prana jai par vachana na jai. My mother used to say, let my life be taken away. I'm happy to lose my life, but not my words. And the beauty here is my words are really marked. It's got gravitas. It's got my full attention. And this is why Mauna makes it very beautiful. The beauty to words comes on the back of Mauna. The pauses that we use in music or non-music context, that Mauna helps us become powerful orators. So Dora Kodaku, he doesn't say Rama, because he's not even generalizing. I'm sure, we are all sure who Tyagaraja was having on the top of his head when he said Dora Kodaku. No Dora Kodaku, no prince can save me. But which prince is he obviously referring to? Definitely, 100% Sri Rama. So in this Charana 2, Sakala Bhutamula Undavai, right? Sakala is all Bhutamula, elements of nature. What elements? Panchabhuta, 5 elements of nature, or the other one, it could be earth, water, fire, right? Sky, ether, air, whatnot. Yeah, all that we are made of and that we are not made of. And there's nothing that we are not, that the Panchabhuta is not party to. And everything is made of Panchabhuta. So, Andu, in, Nivai, you, Yundaga, existed. Mati, in my mind or in heart. This mati is sometimes is intelligence, sometimes is mind, sometimes is heart. Leka poina was not present. That mati was not present. Even though you existed everywhere, in everything, I didn't realize your presence, is what the Charana 2 tries to tell us. Charana 3. Chirutapaya mulanade bhajanamruta rasa vihina kutar kudaina. Right? So it is kutar kudaina. Tarka means logic. I became illogical. Kutar kudaina. I took word by word. Chirutapaya mulanade. Chiruta means young. Right? Young and small. Praya mula, young age. Chiruta praya mu. Chiruta praya mula nade. At an young age. Bhajanamruta rasa. Bhajanamruta rasa. Bhaj is to pray. Bhajana is the act of praying. Bhajanamruta rasa vihina. Kutar kudaina. And we don't need meanings for bhajana, amruta. Like we all know that bhajana, amruta, rasa vihina, bhajana, amruta, rasa. I didn't know, I didn't enjoy, I was just singing. I didn't have that element. It was not a proper bhajana. It was not rendered with full bhakti. That rasa was not proper. I was composing, yes, people attribute lakhs of krutis. Last time we had a question towards the end about the many lakhs of krutis. Not sure. We need more research. We want young researchers to document, to present this to the newer generations. So and Sri Tyagaraja says, Bhajanamrita rasa vihina kutar kudai. I mean, I had no logic, one with false logic. I was illogical. I was just argumentative. I was just a composer. Bhajana Amruta, Rasa Vihina. There was no nectar of that bhajana. Bhajana Amruta was missing. And I was illogical. So, and only Sri Tyagaraja and Sri Rama knows at best why Tyagaraja felt so poorly about his devotion. And in comparison and in contrast, and while we are in the introspective mode, where should we place ourselves during the lockout, post lockout? Where we should, our mind must journey into this is a big giveaway, really. Chiruta praya mulanade bhajana, not bhaja. Let's do bhajana amruta. Amruta. So we have to feel the words when we are singing, and even when we are playing percussion or another thing. So the way I understand is when I'm called to do violin accompaniment. Luckily, these Pancharatna Kruti renditions really has got a swara aspect and a sahitya aspect. Firstly, they sing re re pa pa re re pa re 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 sa sa re re pa ma ma re re sa sa re pa ma re sa ni sa re sa sa pa pa ma re re sa sa. Right, is what they sing first time, and then they sing Chiruta Praya Mulanade Bhajana Mruta Rasa Vihina. So when we are accompanying for the swaras, let the musicians who cannot sing sahitya, let them take center stage. See, this samarasya, this understanding of the concept is beautiful in our sabha gosti ganas of Tyagaraja Pancharatna. In some of the beautiful sabhas, I see this feel. The musicians are feeling for each other when we are doing re pa pa ma re re sa sa re pa ma re sa ni sa re sa sa va pa. So the mridangist will go slow, the ghatam player will go soft, and the people who are doing the notes, I'm sorry, the mridangist will go loud, the ghatam player he wants to be heard, he has to present the big music, everyone on the instrument side will go loud. But when it comes to sahitya, because it's Pancharatna, so let's bear in mind that the second time when people repeat the sahitya, we'll put everything on the sahitya. Chiruta praya mulanade bhajanamruta rasavihina kutar kudaina. I am a sinner who slayed people without rhyme or reason and did not obtain the nectar of your worship. This is what we are trying to convey there in Telugu. So the words must be allowed to be heard. Right? Now, Charana 4. Right? Paradhana Mula. Paradhana. It needs no introduction. We are all looking for money. But Paradhana is a alien concept of our dharma. Whatever we earn has to be ours. It has to be rightly earned. So para is others. Paradhana Mula Koraku. For others. Dhana is property, it can be treasure, it can be money, it can be amassment, it can be material or otherwise wealth. Paradhana mula koraku vorula of others, not mine, of others. That doesn't belong to me. It can be, as I mentioned, an abstract property. It could be an intellectual property. Madi is again heart or mind. Karuga is melting. Paliki, to speak. Kadupu nimpa tiruginatti. Natti is like that. So I am a sinner who went astray and repeatedly hurt people's feelings for the sake of coveting their wealth or making a living or owning something that does not belong to me. Paradhana mula koraku noralu madi karaga, right? Karaka is nice. Karaga, baliki is paliki. Paliki becomes baliki. Kadupu nimpa tiriginatti. So in that way is what he says. I am a sinner who went astray and repeatedly hurt people's feelings for the sake of coveting their wealth. Right. So it could even be doing unnecessary praising, unnecessary, hurting people, stealing something that's not mine. I mean, look how practical this Kruti is, how practical these charanas are. They're really carrying the heavy-weighted charana, heavy-weighted Pallavi and Anupallavi's message on its feet, very elegantly. Okay. Now, Tyagaraja Krutis must be, Padagarbha is very, Paradhana Mula. You have to stop there. This is why when the Gostigana, when the choir, when the ensemble sings, we got to be very sensitive. When the Sahitya time comes, let's all, even there's nothing wrong, nothing stops us from singing these Sahityas. And these Sahityas are not only for melody makers, this is also for rhythm makers, this is for organizers, this is for everyone. This is all-inclusive Sahitya. So that's one thing I'm trying to learn. And Charana 5, we've got 3 more Charanas. So I'm conscious that I have a minute or 2. Right, we'll do the word.
Srikanth,
Yeah.
1 nimisha. Sir will come in for just 1 minute.
No problem.
Then you can continue.
Hello. So, Srikanth, we are left with exactly 0 minutes as per our schedule. The flow was so beautifully going on. We really did not want to stop this. But anyway, keep that this is not going to be the end of the series. Just the beginning of the number of series. Can you please mute the rest of the mics? Sari hoita? Okay. Elrigu namaskara. So we have decided to hold these sessions continuously on alternative Sundays, toggling between 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 as the matter of convenience to all of us as per our conveniences. And there is no rule that one particular Pancharatna Kirtana has to end by the end of that 60th minute, which is impossible to do unless we just sing it or unless we just sumne mechanical hodre matra it is possible. So which is not the whole purpose in any case. The very purpose will be driven by when a person, a spokesman or a guest faculty that as we have now Srikanth Sharma here, educated, cultured, experienced, learned and well versed with the subject on and off the stage. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಕೀರ್ತನೆ ಕಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅಂಥವ್ರು ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
So many lies in one sentence, Ravi.
Sometimes it makes the life more interesting, and not everything is a lie. It's 90% truth. Okay, 10% we always have a discount in the system. So that's accepted. So thank you, Srikanth. It has really gone well into the audience. Tumba chanagi ನಾವು interact ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೋತೃಗಳಿಗಾಗಲಿ online listeners everybody we had a lot of input from this session about the second Pancharatna Kirtana of Sri Tyagaraja Swami. ಒಂದೇ ಇವಾಗ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಕೇಳೋರು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದಿದ್ರೆ we can to Srikanth in particular, we are going to continue with this Pancharatna Kirtana in our next session, which will be falling on 17th of May, around this time, between 4 and 6, the 60 minutes. So our time only you can take the remaining charanagalanna and you can comfortably close with the meaningful and no hurry ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. We have spent so many years, at least me, I have spent 52 years without knowing all these things. So we still have, we need to just wait for another session to get it completed. We will definitely await your next interaction and presentation. Thank you so much for your valuable time and effort in getting prepared with all the beautiful informations and presenting it in a very globally acceptable language. ಇವಾಗ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರೋರ್ಗೆ, ಸೊ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರದೇ ಇರೋರ್ಗೆ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರೋರ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ತಪ್ಪಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್, ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ bottleneck for them not to understand. So ಇದೊಂಥರ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲಿ acceptable language. So language ಬಗ್ಗೆ we have nothing. ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ most of them understand ಕನ್ನಡ and English both. So ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಹೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಕವರೇಜ್. ಇದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ವಿಷಯ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋರ್ಗೆ ಸಮುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು 10 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟರಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಸಮುದ್ರದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು 5% ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ರ ತನಕ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಂತೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಸಾಗರಗಳು, ಪಂಚರತ್ನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದೂ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಇದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಇದು ಏನೋ ಜೇನುನೊಣದ ಕೆಲಸ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಇರೋ ಗಿಡಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಅದು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿ ನೆಕ್ಟಾರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್. ಅದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಬಂದು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹನಿ ತರ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. So this beautiful job you have done in a very elegant way. Thank you so much. Special thanks from all of us from Shruti Sindhura team for your efforts on this. So again, thanking you on the behalf of everybody around. And of course, another 10 minutes ide to conclude the entire session. If somebody has anything to a clarification, a doubt, a question, they are most welcome in the set way. Raise your hands in the system and please go ahead as per our moderator's instructions. Ellargu dhanyavada, namaskara.
Ravi Shankar sir, thank you. Jitsi ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದಿರೋ or YouTube ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀರೋ, any questions please raise your hand so that we can give the opportunity to the speaker to answer. YouTube ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋಂತ ಒಂದು question ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, they want to see a complete song with all percussion ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So I think we'll keep that to the next level. We'll make a concert online, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನುಡ್ಸೋಂತ ಒಂದು ದಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Thank you for that option. ಯಾರು, if somebody is there who has raised their hand or have any questions, please do come in and ask. Srikanth, I think yaru kelor illa ansutte, so I think you can take another 10 minutes and conclude it.
Sure. It's almost a blessing in disguise then.
ಹೌದು.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ questions need not
ಒಂದು
be.
ನಿಮಿಷ ದೀಪಾ ರಾವ್ ಅವರು has raised the hand. ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್, ದೀಪಾ ಹಿಯರ್. ನನ್ಗೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ನಂಗೆ 1-2 ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಪಲಿಕಿ ಬಲ್ಕಿ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇನಾ? ನನಗೆ
ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಪಲ್ಕಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಲುಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಟ್ಲಲ್ವ, ಮಾತು ಬಲಿಕಿ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಲೌಡ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಲಿಕಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ಅಂತನಾ? ಇಟ್ ರೆಫರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮಾತು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಿಂಡಾರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಮೌಂಟಿಂಗ್, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್?
ಶ್ರೀಕಾಂತ್ ಸರ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ನಿಂದಾರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಂಡಾರು ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ದೀಪಾ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಈಗ ನಿಂಡಾರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಮೈ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂತ. ಗಡಿಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಹಿಂದಿಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಗಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಗಡಿಯಾರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಿಷಕ್ಕೂ ಅಂತ, ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷಣ, ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ, ಸದಾ ಅಂತ. ಗಡಿಯ ನಿಂಡಾರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಇಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಮೈ ಟೈಮ್, ಇಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಮೈ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ನಿಂಡಾರು, ನಿಂಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಂತ, ನಿಂಡಿಂದಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತೆಲುಗಲ್ಲಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಅದೇ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಮಿಸ್ಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಆನ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್, ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
You are such a brilliant thinker. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Sir, I think in yaru illa, you can start and Mangala jate mugisbodu ನೀವು.
Okay, so I will steal the QA time, the wrapping time to complete the charanas. ಈಗ ಚರಣ ಇವಾಗ let me share the screen again. Please confirm that you are able to see my screen. Chandramouli avare.
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ಆನ್ ಇದೆ.
Okay. Not able to see it. Okay, it's here. Right. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's quickly continue then. It's 7 minutes additional time. Football al sigatala atara.
So ಹೌದು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮರ್ ಇಂದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು. So we'll use this. Football ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಫ್ರಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪಾಪ he is too good to cut us off, but he uses technology to cut us off, and I am happy to be bound by that. ಈಗ number 6 is where really my heart lies. I identify myself pretty much with this. Right? ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ತೆಲಿಯನಿ ನಟವೀಟ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ ಓದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಐ ಪ್ರೀಚ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. I was more outward facing. I was trying to externalize my songs, my bhakti, my everything. ಈ ವರ್ಚ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗ್ನಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿಲಿ, ವರ್ಚ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗ್ನಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ಏಕಾದಶಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, 13 ಗಂಟೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ನೀರು ಕುಡ್ದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿರ್ಜಲ ಉಪವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾನು ರೋಸಾ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ 14th day ಆಫ್ ದ ರೋಸಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಚ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗ್ನಲಿಂಗ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಉಪವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದಂತೂ ಹೌದು, ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಏಕಾದಶಿ ಬೈ ದ ಬೈ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಏಕಾದಶಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಜಗತ್ಗೆ ತೋರಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು ಈ ತರ. ಐ ಪ್ರೀಚ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜರೇ when he says I preached to charm and obtain the attention of hypocrites who do not have wisdom, mean people who sought the bad ladies. I was happy doing so, feeling proud and egoistic that I am equal to any great follower of God without even having the capacity of understanding the swara or laya. So Tyagaraja ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, mind you, let's be very careful. We got to bear in mind that Sri Tyagaraja says without having the capacity to understand the swara or laya ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ. ಇದು ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರಿ ಪ ರಿ ರಿ ಬ ಮ ಸ ಸ ರಿ ರಿ ಪ ನಿ ಸ ರಿ ಪ ಬ ಮ ರಿ ಸ ಸ, ತೆಲಿಯನಿ ನಟ ವಿಟ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಯು ನೋ ದ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ತೆಲಿಯನಿ ನಟ ವಿಟ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತರ ಈ ತರ ಅಂತ. ತೆಲಿಯನಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಂಜರ್ಸ್, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋರು. ನಟವಿಟ ಹ್ಯಾರ್ಲಾಟ್ ಅನ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಲೆಸ್, ಶೂದ್ರುలు, ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಬಿಲಾಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲೋವರ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ಸ್. ರೈಟ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಜಾತಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಧರ್ಮ ಗ್ರಂಥಗಳಲ್ಲಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ವೇದದ ವರ್ಣ ಆಶ್ರಮದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಕೋಡ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮನುಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಕೋಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮೈ character, my disposition, my outlook, my delivery in public scene and in private. So ಇದು ಈ ತರ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ people belonging to the lower aspirations. lower aspiration ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಕಾಮ. ಸೊ ಯಾರ್ದು ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಏನು ಧರ್ಮವಾಗಿ ದುಡಿಬೇಕಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ತರ ಆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋರು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ he is really referring to loose women, but ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚು, because we have a wide and varied audience of all ages, so let's tone that down. But ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ strangers ಜೊತೆ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು aspiration ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ. I sought their company, ವನಿತಲು. See, very clear ಆಗಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ತರ ಉಪದೇಶಿಂಚಿ ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಪ್ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಸಂತ ಸಿಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ಲೆಷರ್, ಐ ಲಿವ್ ವಿತ್ ಪ್ಲೆಷರ್. ಸಂತ ಸಿಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜು ಸುಮಾರು ಕಡೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸದ ಮೋಜು ಭೋಗಕ್ಕೆ, ಐ ಲಿವ್ ವಿತ್ ಪ್ಲೆಷರ್. ಸ್ವರಲಯಂಬುಲು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಸ್ವರಲಯಂಬು, ಅದು ಲಯಂಬು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎರಡು ತೆಲುಗಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಹಂಗಾಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವರ ಲಯಗಳು, ಸ್ವರ ಲಯಂಬುಲು ಎರಂಗಕನು, ವಿತೌಟ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಯಾವುದು ಸ್ವರ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಯ. ಸಿಲಾತ್ಮುಲೈ, ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಫೇಸ್ಡ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೌಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಇನ್ಫೀರಿಯರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ರೇಷನ್, right? Atma. Few of the words are non-translatables in Sanskrit. Dharma itself, to start with, it's a non-translatable. I feel it's a diluted, it's a chicory mixed coffee. I think it's an adulterated something. So ಸ್ವರ ಎರangakanu knowledge ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂತ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವರಾಲಯ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಹಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ, ರೈಟ್, ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ಅಂತಿರೋ, ಸೌಲ್ ಅಂತಿರೋ, ಅಥವಾ ದಟ್ ಅಂತಿರೋ, ತತ್ ಅಂತಿರೋ, ಶುಭ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ತರ ಇದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮೈಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ. ಐ ಪ್ರೀಚ್ಡ್ to charm and obtain the attention of hypocrites who do not have wisdom, mean people who sought cheap pleasures. I was happy doing so, feeling very proud and egoistic that I am equal to any great follower of God, without even having the capacity to understand the laya and swara. Really, if Tyagaraja says this is where we have to position ourselves in relation to Sri Tyagaraja's words. I really love this humility, introspective, self-correction, self-marking that Sri Tyagaraja does in this Kriti. And the timeline is during the middle of missionary programs. We were ruled by people who would not understand our faith. Again, you see, as I mentioned, Dharma has no parallels. The way I enjoy sugar is the way I enjoy sugar. So people coming from West and trying to rule us, and then trying to get the best of our effort, our land, our resources, they will have less to do with our emotions, faith, or religion. So ಇದು ಈ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜ says, redeem me God, I am a sinner, redeem me. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? It's a big question mark. I am nobody to say. I have no content here. This is where we need Swadeshi Indologists who do research with pride. ಇದು ಏನು ಇರ್ಬೋದಾ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ? ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, I did discuss this with my HOD, that I want to position this statement. It's a good hypothesis, really. So this Kriti is introspective in nature. Gaula, Rishabha Gaula, really, when you keep singing that, many of the brilliant singers out here today on this in this session, both on Jitsi and other online platforms, absolutely feel that Gaula Rishabha. When you just say, you don't have to eat pickle, you just think about that pickle in that jar, man, your body really reacts. That way, Gaula Rishabha has attraction. It is the embodiment of that self-introspection. When I was preparing this note, so on that note, we have hit. It's 6:15. And then I will conclude this, and the remaining one or two charanas, I will let's do this in the introductory part of the following session. And thanks a lot to Shruti, Sindhura, Vidwan Ravi Shankar Sharma, and my technical host Chandramauli Jamadagni. And for all of you, a very patient audience and quite learned. On that note, I'll take leave and have a very good evening. See you in the next session on 17th of April.
Thank you, Srikanth sir. Thank you for this timely ending. Sorry, I think we have interrupted, but we'll have to stick on time. Very sorry for that. So thank you everybody who has joined across all our platforms of YouTube, Jitsi, and hope we'll also be going live on Facebook soon with our own encoders. So we'll update you on that soon. Please do subscribe to your YouTube channels for more of our videos, performing videos of Shruti Sindhura. Thank you all. Yes, Rakshit.
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಪ್ ಆನ್ May 17th as per the schedule which will be made known by you to all. Thank you, Srikanth, and our respected audience, and all our people who joined today.
I would like to end this session with a Shanti mantra with Ravi Shankar Sharma's permission.
Yes.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let the world get rid of all the menace that we're going through. Let us have good health. Let's all stay safe and take care of others.